that's all you want. But reading is personal. We can't know what a book will mean to us until we read it, and so we take a leap and choose. Sometimes we'll choose a book that's all wrong for us. That's a peril of the reading life. Sometimes we'll read through a string of mediocre titles, or we'll find ourselves in a slump. Sometimes we'll read a perfectly good book, but the timing's all wrong. The same book means different things to different people, or in different seasons of life. Since reading is personal, it can be tricky. Not such a commodity after all, eh? We are readers. Books are an essential part of our lives and of our life stories. For us, reading isn't just a hobby or a pastime, it's a lifestyle. We're the kind of people who understand the heartbreak of not having your library reserves come in before you leave town for vacation, and the exhilaration of stumbling upon the new Louise Penny at your local independent bookstore 3 whole days before the official publication date. We know the pain of investing hours of reading time in a book we enjoyed right up until the final chapter's truly terrible resolution, and we know the pleasure of stumbling upon exactly the right book at exactly the right time. There are few one-size-fits-all prescriptions for the reading life. This spurs all sorts of readerly dilemmas, but it also brings readers endless delight. In this book, we'll dive into the personal nature of reading, what shapes us as readers, what we bring to the page. We'll explore how to read, how to choose good books, and what happens when we read bad ones. We'll dive into why we connect with some books so powerfully. We'll peek into other people's reading lives, and we'll enjoy every minute of it because that's the kind of people we are. How good it is to be among people who are reading. Chapter 1. Confess Your Literary Sins. In David Lodge's campus novel, Changing Places, 2 college professors, one American, one British, swap teaching roles for a year. In one memorable scene, the British academics invite their American guest to play a party game called Humiliation. Players confess important literary works they haven't yet read, and points are scored based on how many other players have already read them. The person with the most and most egregious gaps in their personal reading history wins. If everyone but you has read that book, you're going to be great at humiliation. Those fictional professors aren't the only ones who enjoy shocking and delighting their fellow readers by spilling the guilty secrets of their reading lives, sharing those works they suspect everyone but them has already read, or perhaps the books they love but feel they shouldn't. Why can we not help but laugh when we discover an English prof has never read Hamlet, as in Changing Places, or that a serious friend has a thing for Sophie Kinsella novels, or that a soft-spoken friend is obsessed with celebrity memoirs, or a friend with a religion PhD has never read C.S. Lewis? Why do these revelations delight us so? Screenwriters have a name for it. They call it the comedy gap, that gap between what we expect to happen and what actually happens. Or, in this case, what we expect a person's reading life to be like and what it's truly like. In 2011, I named my new blog Modern Mrs. Darcy because it captured the timeless and timely nature of what I wanted to write about, and because I love Jane Austen. Almost exactly 5 years later, in 2016, I started a podcast called What Should I Read Next?, devoted to book talk, reading recommendations, and literary matchmaking. The funny thing about creating a blog using a name from a Jane Austen novel, or casting yourself as a literary matchmaker, is how many readers you meet feel as though a conversation with you is an invitation to play humiliation. Since I began these projects, I've been surprised to find myself a magnet for readers' literary confessions. So many readers feel compelled to confess important literary works they haven't yet read, or that they love the wrong books, or that they don't read much at all lately. These readers are acutely aware of their own gap, that divide between what they think their reading life should be like and what it's really like. Sometimes I think they're sharing in fun. They're content with their choices and opinions, but they appreciate the pleasure of divulging guilty secrets and see in me a kindred spirit, one who will appreciate their confession. But the truths of many readers' reading lives make them uncomfortable. Their gap isn't a source of amusement, but frustration. They're certain their taste is questionable, their opinions are wrong, their reading habits are poor, and it's only a matter of time before the book police track them down. They're carrying guilty reading secrets that make them feel as though they aren't real readers. They're partly terrified of being found out, and partly feel they might burst if they can't tell someone their bookish secrets. Often, that someone is me. These readers find me, in person or online, and say, "I don't usually tell people this," before spilling their secrets. They've never read Shakespeare or Chaucer, Bronte or Austen, Hawthorne or Dickens, or any other author you might possibly have been assigned in high school. They were assigned these books in school, but never read them. They wrote their term papers on important novels without reading the important novels. The better their grade, the worse they feel. They've never read Jane Austen, specifically.